I'd like to now move on to show you what we're going to do with the urine, how we're going to send this away using the kit provided. So when you purchase the chain of custody test kit, you'll get a little cup that we're going to decant the urine into. You'll get 2 transport pots. You'll get 2 vials, which is where the urine's going to go. You'll get a transit bag. This is where part of the chain of custody test form and the urine are going in there, and then everything is then going to be placed into a first class paid postage envelope. So let's show you what to do with the urine first. Just slide these things out of the way for a minute. So the first thing we do is put on a pair of gloves. If you've already run the test, you already have these on. So we take the lid off the initial screening test pot, and you'll see here that I've got this placed on a piece of tissue. I strongly recommend that you have some tissue with your drug testing kits, just in case there's any small spillage. So we take the lid off the initial testing pot, decant the urine into there, put that off to one side. Take the lid off each one of these vials. I tend to try and do them one at a time. It saves you knocking them over while you've got urine in there. So just screw the lid back on there, and then I repeat the process with the other small vial. There's plenty of urine in there, so I'll just put that over there for the time being. Now I move to my chain of custody test consent form, which we filled out a little while ago. And I'm going to take each of the 2 tamper-proof evidence seals. I'm going to peel them off. So first one, peel off. You have to be a bit careful with these. They do stick to the gloves a little bit if you're not careful. So we take the tamper-proof evidence seal just one at a time. Place the letter, so the letter B now is on top, and peel the label down the side of the pot, and also down the other side. So we're going to have the urine in the vial with the tamper-proof evidence seal at the top, signed and dated by the employee, with the letter sitting on the top. And I'll repeat the process with the other tamper-proof evidence seal. So this one is going to be sample A. And what will happen to these 2 samples, when the laboratory receive these, they'll test one sample and they'll keep the other sample in storage for 18 months. Should there ever be a legal challenge, or should the employee want to get their own sample tested, then they can apply to the laboratory to get one of these samples released. So now we've repeated the process for that. So we now take the transport pots. We simply slide the little urine vial into the pot, and then we repeat the process with the other one in there. Just make sure as you slide these into the pot that you don't tear the tamper-proof evidence seals. If they are broken or torn when the laboratory receive them, they'll just simply inform you that they can't run a chain of custody test because the chain of custody has been broken, because the seal on the pot is broken. So just be careful as you put them in there. I then go and take, there's some barcodes on the top here, so just take one and put one down each of the pots. So that's that one there, and a bit tricky when you're wearing gloves. Just take your time. So now we have the urine inside the pots and the little vials with the tamper-proof evidence seals on, and a barcode on each of the pots. So we move back to our transport bag, and we put the 2 little pots of urine into the front part of the bag. You'll notice this bag is in 2 parts. The front part of the bag is the little pocket at the front there, is where the urine is going to go. I'm going to take the top copy of the chain of custody form. This is a laboratory copy. And this is what we're going to send off to the laboratory, so we just peel it off. What I like to do at this stage is pass it to my co-assessor or witness, just to ask them to make sure that it's all been signed and dated in the right places. Should have 3 signatures on. The employee should have signed it under the donor declaration for medication, and also donor consent to test, and it should also be signed by you as the collecting officer, so that should all be signed and dated in the right place. I fold that up. And I slide that in the back part of the bag. So the urine and the form are now in separate parts of the bag. And that's just in case there's any small leakages while these are being sent in the post. So I peel the little label off the top and seal that down. I then place that package into the postage bag. Take the seal off the top of the postage bag. So these are a bit tricky when you're wearing gloves, and seal that down. That's now ready to go off to the laboratory, first class paid postage. The pink copy is the employee or donor copy, and you should give them that. I explained to the employee that should they wish to get their own sample tested, they're entitled to do so. All the contact details for the laboratory are on the bottom of that part of the form. So they simply contact the laboratory and give them the details of the laboratory they want the samples sent to, and then both laboratories will work between each other in getting the samples sent and tested. So we give that to the employee. The blue copy is the collector's copy, and the green copy underneath is the employer's copy. And as a rule, those two parts of the form will stay together. Unless there's some reason why you'd need to separate them, I would keep them together. And what I like to do is I like to staple this to the initial consent form that we filled out when we done the first line screening test, so that we keep details of all tests in one place. And that's how to conduct a chain of custody test and send it off to the laboratory.